nice to see that enough of you turned out tonight. And so, are you all cold? I'm absolutely freezing. Anyway, hopefully you're warmed up. I've no idea what I'm saying. My brain's not functioning. Introduction. You said my hands were freezing. Like lots of ice. Right, we are very fortunate tonight. Oh, look, see, if I slow down, then there's I keep saying it. Slowly, there's probably two more of our records that take part of all. Anyway, so it's right to do it. It's getting a better crowd, isn't it? As we sit here. It's my great pleasure to introduce Ian Wilson. Hope. Wilson Hope, who's going to demonstrate for us tonight. You've been working oils and acrylics?
No, just acrylics.
Just acrylics tonight, okay. And you can already see some of the samples up here, that he has his sort of own unique style and take on subject matter. But I believe that you have another creative side to you, don't you?
Yes, that's right.
That is nothing to do with painting.
No, I was a professional opera singer for 15 years.
Oh, there you go. So is it going to be a sing-along of it?
No, I won't be a sing-along. I might give you a glass of water.
Okay. Right, so
thank you. So I'm fairly local to this area.
sorry?
Just wait, I'll wait. So yes, I've lived in South Croydon now for 28 years. I was born in Wimbledon, not South many moons ago. I've lived in Corrugated for 28 years. Grew up in northeast Essex, in a tiny little place called Tolsbury, which nobody's ever heard of. So it's just a little village on the end of Essex's coastline. If you've heard of Mersey Island, you know roughly where Tolsbury is. So that's where I grew up. I moved back to London in my 20s. Worked in the bank for 8 years before giving all that up. Security and all that nonsense. I thought, I know, I'm going to be an opera singer.
Why not?
So I went to music college for 6 years, trained as an opera singer, did 15 years as a professional opera singer, touring the country, sometimes working abroad. And I came back to painting and drawing, which has always been one of my main sort of hobbies and passions, in 2018. As the singing kind of waned off, the art took over. So it kind of creative juices flowed in a different direction.
Yeah.
So, my main interest is usually figurative and portraiture, but I do paint everything, landscape, still life, whatever. I don't paint bananas. I don't paint apples. I don't paint coffee cups. That's about it. Nothing wrong with painting the mundane if that's your bag. It's just not that. So I'm very much influenced by their old masters. I paint in a kind of modern way, using modern materials. I don't want to paint like those paint, mixing everything, stretching everything, having a team of apprentices do all the work for you, basically. So obviously I use modern materials. I work in oil, I work in watercolour, and I work in acrylic. This demonstration is just to demonstrate loosening up a bit, being a bit more creative, letting go of the end result. Because I think as artists we get so bogged down in seeing all the details of something and we kind of want to focus on producing our best work ever. And say, yeah, this is my best one I've ever done. And then you come to your next one and you're like, because you've suddenly got artist block because you think, I can't surpass that last one. So the thing with painting is the more you do it, the more you want to do it. So you have to loosen up sometimes and you just have to go with what happens on the canvas. And if it works, it works. When I did this demonstration a couple of weeks ago at catering art group, and I painted one of the canvases to demonstrate this kind of abstract background. So I call this kind of abstract realism.
Yeah.
So you've got a very abstract background with a realistic subject in front. So I call that abstract realism. It's probably not what abstract realism means in art historical terms, but there we go. It's just about freeing up, allowing your painting to be a bit different. So during your break, when you have your tea break, please do come up, touch the paintings. They've been varnished, so you're not supposed to dirty them. But they're designed to be touched because there's all this texture in here. Yeah? So you run your hand over it, feel it as much as look at it. This one has got oil on. The figure is painted in oil, but the background is all acrylic paints. It's got cardboard, it's got texture pastes, and I'll go through my materials in just a moment. Same with this one. You can see the cardboard corrugation here, and down here. Yeah. So do come and have a look at them. Do feel free to put your hands on. They're not precious. This one here is an aluminium one. It's aluminium foil on the glued to the canvas, and then painted with. You use a matte medium. Liquitex matte medium is what I use, but you can buy any matte medium. It acts as an adhesive, and it also acts as a like a gesso thing to stick the paint onto the aluminium foil. You don't put the shiny side face up, you put the shiny side facing the canvas. So you work on the kind of rougher side. Yeah. Okay. I won't demonstrate that tonight because I haven't got time. But I'll just talk about that very quickly. Okay. So that's another thing you can incorporate. So you can incorporate the aluminium. You can put it on little parts of the painting if you wanted. You can glue it on and let it. The thing with this is it does take a little bit of preparation. So you've kind of got to start this a couple of days before you want to paint something. Okay? And I'll explain why that is. So the thing I usually start with is just a Common Garden Amazon parcel. Okay? And then you get a delivery of Amazon and it comes in one of those small sort of packages things. Just save it. You can rip it up. You can tear off so you get some of this corrugation texture working. You know, so you just slip your wrist. Yeah, pull it apart and get some of this texture going. Like that. And then you've got some corrugation to go on. And then obviously when you're tearing off the main strip of cardboard, just be irregular. You don't have to keep the straight sides or whatever. You can put it wherever you want in your canvas. And to do that, I just use ordinary PVA glue. This one's a clear glue. You use the white one as well because it will dry clear. So just PVA glue it to your canvas. The canvas will then kind of move with the bubble and move the canvas. And then usually I paint the PVA glue over it once it's adhered to the canvas. And then that basically hardens the cardboard. But when you come to gesso, before you begin painting, it's nice and hard and it won't sort of go floppy and messy on you. There's going to be a few blue Peter moments here. Here's one of them. Yes, exactly. You've been here before, haven't you? So bear with me when I change the canvases. So we'll come back to that in just a minute. I'll just talk about the mediums that we're going to use tonight as well. So these are Winsor Newton Gallery mediums. You can buy other brands. I'm not sponsored by Winsor Newton in any way. They just happen to be one of my preferred brands in the sense that I trust their paints, so I trust their mediums. I'm also using Gallery paints, but you can use any acrylic paint, whatever you want. So I'm not sponsored, I'm not promoting them, just that this is good stuff. So, but you can find them in the works, you can find them in Hobbycraft, any good craft or paint store shops will sell these mediums. So this is black lava texture medium, okay, which is very fun to use and dries. When they dry, they are rock hard. They literally are rock hard on the canvas. We have sand texture medium. Now you can make your own sand texture medium just by using matte medium and mixing sand into it. And it will do the same thing, but if you don't want to go getting sand from the beach or buying sand from the local hardware store, then you just buy that. So that's the sand texture. This one's an interesting one. It's quite expensive. It's called Crackle paste. Now, you know when you look at an old master painting and you see all the cracks in the paint, that's effectively what this does. It creates a cracked texture. So the thicker you apply it, the more crack you get as it dries. It sort of pulls itself apart as it dries. So that's a good one to use as well if you want that kind of look. Coarse pumice stone texture. So a bit like, you know, the sort of lava stuff that comes up and dries. And that you can feel quite, it's here and here, and these parts here. And it really adds great textural kind of lines to it. And it's also on this one. So that's that. And then my favourite is good old-fashioned texture paste. This one's David Rowley, so you know, I do use other brands. And this, you can do all sorts of things with. You can almost sculpt it. And it's soft, and then when it dries, again, all day will dry off. Best thing to do with these is to leave them overnight to dry off for about 12 hours or so. Then you can gesso them, and the gesso again leave for sort of another 6 hours or so just to let it dry out. And then you're ready to paint. Okay. What else would you need? So, you can either use black or white gesso. So I've got some Bob Ross ones here. Yes, again, another brand. Not sponsored. And white acrylic gesso. Just really white acrylic, whatever brand you use is fine. So that just gives that goes over the texture on the dry, and that just makes the paint easier to adhere back to the canvas. Okay. And then just your acrylic paints. So you don't have to push the boat out and have huge colour schemes. You just have a few acrylic paints. I tend to like this combination of sort of burnt sienna, burnt umber, and Prussian blue, and then just add a few light tones to it in white and silver and things like that. So it's just about creating different textural elements to it. So what do I use to do that? Well, there are various tools. Obviously, you've got the good old-fashioned palette knife. You can get a wedge, catalyst wedge as well. That's good for moving stuff about. If you haven't got those, just enormous decorator scraper is quite good. You can really pull lots of texture down with that, and you can use it to sort of stickle the texture as well. And failing that, you can even use a squeegee. I'm sure you've all got those for your bathrooms, but if you've got a spare one, use it. Don't worry about that. I think they came from Lidl, so. Look in the middle of Lidl, you never know what you'll find. Paper towel. Now this one you may not have seen, you might have seen it. It's called Scott's Shop Towel. It's really, really absorbent stuff. Works for oil paints. I mean, it's mechanics towel, basically, for cleaning up oil spills and things like that in garages. And it's so super absorbent. You could dip it in water and it won't disintegrate. It's that absorbent. You can dry it, squeeze it out, it's like a sponge. So, which brings me on to what I can use next. You can buy this on Amazon. You just search Scott's Shop Towel. Scott with double T.
Yes.
It's an American brand, but they have it available on Amazon.
Right,
So that's a good thing to use. Good old-fashioned water bottle. It's not got all-purpose cleaner in it, I promise you. Yeah, they'll take the whole lot off. or just a little. little water bottle as well. It's just for spritzing. You can add acrylic inks if you want to. After you put some paint on, you might want to put acrylic inks on. You can basically add anything to create your abstract backgrounds. So, first half I'll show you how to kind of prep the canvases, get them to the state that you want, and then the second half I'm going to paint possibly an owl, because a lot of people like wildlife. So, now, for the catering art group, I did a raven. So, it's very dark. Let me hold it here to see a bit better. So you can see bits of textural element here. Here you've got the corrugation. Okay. So, don't need good brushes for this. I recommend using all your old brushes that are worn out, or acrylic brushes, or synthetic ones that are all going to be you don't need to use all your best equipment. Save that for your best. The oils I used on this were water mixable oils, because I taught myself how to paint in oil basically when I first started coming back to painting. I'd never painted with oils at all before. I went to the Isle of Wight and saw somebody using the water mixable oils, and I thought, I'll give those a try. Yeah. And the thing is, they're nice and safe for if you're working at home, because you don't need all the solvents that you need for normal oil paints. You don't need your turps, you don't need your odorless thinners or white spirit. You can theoretically paint it just using water or oil paint directly from the tube. You can buy linseed oil, which is cleanable with water. I know this all sounds counterintuitive to everyone who's an oil painter. How many of you do use oils here? Yeah. So it kind of seems a bit counterintuitive to say mix oil with water, because it's like, mix. We talk about from a young age, oil and water doesn't mix. But they modify the oil in these paints so that they can be clean with water. The only problem with using water as a thinner is that it will change the consistency of the colour. So just be careful if you're using it for your sort of chromatic colours and things, it will change the consistency slightly. But otherwise, they're absolutely perfect for home use, because they're just like other paints. What else can I say before I start? I think that's basically covered everything. Yes. So let's get cracking. Literally. So, PVA glue. Let's give it a shake first. And literally all I do is going to just pour it on the back. Because normally I do this flat on the table. It's easier to do it on the table. So just spread the glue over the back of the cardboard. That. And find somewhere to put it on your canvas. Like that. So like just being a kid again. It's great fun. And as I say, it really helps kind of just stop you worrying about the end result. Because you'll just be having fun. It's like putting your fingers in the paint and just doing those paintings we all used to do as a kid before we were taught how to use a paintbrush. I'm sure some of us never were like that. Spreading the glue around and just finding a place to stick it on. So, You get the gist of that, don't you? Yeah. Right, here's one I prepared earlier. I think I hardened this. Maybe I didn't. Oh well, if I didn't, I'm going to do it now. So it's the same process. Just put your PVA glue on that. This time on the front. And when that dries, that will make that ready for gesso. Yeah. So I'll just take this off for a second, just to do this on the flat. Kind of see again, just bits of the glue over the top. And spread it around. Just go to the edges of the, and I'm trying to get it on the camera there so you can see. Just go to the edges of the cardboard, around those edges, just so it's nicely pushed in. Because the canvas will take that glue, and when it dries it will leave an added texture down there. So just to scrub that in there. If you're getting into the corrugation, just make sure you really get into that corrugated area. What you want is to make sure that that is, sorry, I'm trying to get that on the camera there. You can all see. Basically, you're trying to make sure that the PVA glue goes onto that cardboard so that once it's dry, it's nice and hard and it won't soak, it won't go soft when you put the gesso layer on. So again, just sort of scrubbing that in.
I see you're using canvases. But
yeah.
Could you also use canvas boards?
Yes, you can use canvas boards.
Is there some advantage to using a canvas?
No, you can use, I mean, you can do it on whatever. The canvas board is obviously going to be stiffer,
yes.
So there's less likelihood that it might come off of a canvas board.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, I've not had any problems with it shifting because it's not huge canvas. If it was a great big one, you might want to think about, you know, maybe using a canvas board, but instead, because it'll have less pulling motion. But once the textures are kind of dry on there, it doesn't really move anyway. So that's your glue part. Now we come to the fun bit, putting some texture on. This is where you can really go to town. So let's start with the texture paste. So basically, if you can see that on the camera there, there we go, yeah. It's just like a lump of polyfiller. And you can make your own. You can use polyfiller in a way, yeah. You can make your own. White cement, PVA glue and water. I think it's 2 parts white cement, 1 part water, half part glue, and mix it up, and that makes the paste, basically. So, you know, if you've got some of this, it's easier just to plop this on. So, where should we put some? Let's put some up here. So as you can see, it's quite thick and quite gloopy. And with this particular palette knife, I can create lots of texture with that, just by scraping in and pulling against the, you can't see that on there, can you? That's too high contrast. Can you see it from here anyway?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, yeah. So just, you can see that the knife is just helping to create some texture. If you wanted that thinner, then use something like that and just pull it down and that thin it out. And then you can put sort of stipple effect in if you want. So just using the back end of the knife, you just pull it and that will create some stipple.
You said you were going to paint an owl, potentially, but you're not leaving a space for the owl. You're just going to put it over the top of the cardboard.
Basically, the idea is that you create all this background texture first, then we paint the background in an abstract way, and then we do like we've done on these.
Okay.
So literally, I don't need to worry about where I'm putting the textures at this stage. It's just being free to do whatever you want.
Would you allow me to stuff above the texture?
Yes, so the painting is over the texture. Some people you might want to mix this in with your paint if you prefer. Some people, I mean, because these are all acrylic mediums, they can be mixed in with acrylic paint. So if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. There's no, there's no hard and fast rules. You do whatever you feel you want to do with it. So that's that one. Clean that off, otherwise it dries very quick. So obviously don't let these things dry on the tools because then they're pain to get up. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, pottery tools. You can use those as well. So once you've got your texture on, you can sort of draw things into it or create lines, so like these. Yeah, so some squiggles here. We're creating using one of these. That end, I think. Yeah, so you can just wave motions together. So you can use all sorts of different tools. So that. So you don't have to go mad and buy the whole set of different texture mediums. You can choose one or choose a couple to use. Just buy whatever you fancy. It's completely up to you. It's just about freeing yourself up and being used to it. So let's see if we can get some of this crackle paste on.
So do you not put black on the back and then put the crackle paste so that when it comes apart you can see the black?
You
There's
can
something
do.
to it, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure how you do the crackles.
So you just literally the same as you've applied the texture paste, you just put it on where you want it. Smooth it out a bit, but try not to go too thin with it, because the thinner it goes, the less crack you can see. And you can put it over your cardboard and your glue. So this won't start cracking until it dries out. And it's once it dries out, you'll see the crack. I'll show, in fact, let me send this canvas around while I'm doing these different textures. So in the top corner here, you'll be able to see some of that crackle paste. It's very fine, but you can just see where it's kind of cracked in that area. Have a look at that. And it's probably more. It does get a bit lost when you put some of the paint on it, but it just creates, sometimes if you get light colours on it, it will create. Yeah, you can pass that around. But you see, I'm keeping that fairly thick, but just sort of spreading it around a bit. And I'm putting it over some of that cardboard to create another dimension to that texture as well. And it's mixing a bit with that PVA glue. Let's do the black lava texture of this one. It says not really how to put the lid off. Now this is really interesting. It's like grey with bits of black sand. But when it dries completely black. So you think, oh, there's not much in that. It's not going to do very much. Actually, you'd be surprised what it does.
What's it called?
Black lava texture.
Oh, right, sorry.
So it's a gel, so the gel basically dries away, and then you're left with the black texture. Or the lava, whatever it is. So I'm just going to smooch that on there. That's a technical term, by the way, smooch. It's what you've got to do with these things, yeah? Smooch them. So you can create thin bits of it. You can leave it thick, and then you get different textural elements. And again, with this one, if you want, you can create a stipple effect in certain places where it's thicker, just by pushing that palette knife on and lifting away. You get that stipple effect. Or just thin it out if you want a thinner approach. So you see what's happening here at the bottom, it's all separating. But it's still got some of this grey stuff on it. And once it dries, that just disappears. It turns clear. So it's like a clear gel, like PVA glue. It's probably that mixed with PVA glue, probably. If you can get hold of black lava, you make it yourself, can't you? Yeah, the Hobbycraft Surrey is, I think that's where I got mine from. So, what else have I got? Oh yes, coarse pumice texture. So that was like a
What's that called?
coarse pumice.
That's going to be
Aerated
yeah.
ash, isn't it? So the pumice stones are what fall from the volcano eruptions. All the ash comes out. It kind of obviously does something with the atmosphere and then causes pumice stones. They're very lightweight, but they've got all these air bubbles.
That's why there's so many artists.
This isn't black lava. This is the stuff that goes up in the air. It's like all the steam and stuff, I think, isn't it? Moisture that goes up, gets shot up into the upper atmosphere. If you know anything about volcanoes, which I don't.
Catch you out.
Does anyone know where we get the name volcano from?
Sorry?
Does anyone know where we get the name volcano from? Comes from the Roman god Vulcan.
I was going to say Vulcan, but I was thinking of Star Trek.
Oh dear, I've lost it. There we go. Ah, that's why I do it flat. Right. Made a mess on the floor. Sorry, church. Hall. Let's take that off. There we go. Right. We'll just do that bit flat. And when it's on, we can stick it down. So you can hear that texture? It's scraping. Yeah, yeah. But it doesn't feel like the sand texture. The sand's even worse, you know. Yes, you could. Yeah. You could stick cling film on, you could stick foil on, whatever you've got, baking paper, anything. You know, anything you've got, fabrics, you know, loose threads, whatever. There's no limit to what, I mean, I just use these mediums, but there's absolutely no reason. Cat hair? Maybe not the whole cat. Don't think the cat appreciate that, would it? Right, so that's basically the general idea then, so that you've got those different textures on there. So as I say, you leave that to dry overnight, wait till it's completely hardened, everything's nice and solid. And then that's ready to be gessoed. So you can either black gesso or white gesso, or you can add a colour to it, an acrylic colour, just a small drop of colour into the gesso will colour out the thing. So you don't have to use just white or black, you can use whatever you want. With these I tend to blacken the edges, as you've seen on most of mine. That's just my aesthetic, because I don't think they need framing. You know, you want to hang those on the wall so you can just see the texture from the side as well as from, you know, so if you put that in the frame, it's going to kind of not have the same impact because you lose that textural element. So you want to see it on the wall with that texture, you want to go up to it and be able to touch it. If you put it in the frame, it's just going to lose that intensity. Yeah. It's a bit like, you know, palette knife. If you put varnish on a palette knife painting, what's the point? It's going to get clumps of varnish and sunken bits, and it's not going to look the same. So that one will dry. Put that down there and leave that. Hopefully by the time I go home it will be dry. So, has everybody seen the painting? Those textures and stuff. Yeah. So that's now completely rocked hard. I've used the tools to scrape in these areas here. I've even written some work. Oh, I've written words.
Something yourself, it says. What does it say?
Dare yourself.
Oh, dare yourself.
Dare yourself. Love is equal. Freedom. Well, that's what So this one's the pumice texture up here. That one's the black lava texture, because you can see it's dark under the white. This one is the sand texture, and this is the ordinary texture medium. And this one's the crackle base. So a bit of everything on there, and then you've got colour. So now it comes to the really big fun part. How long have you lost this?
About 5 minutes.
Right, okay. It's about Right. So what I'm going to do, give a quick blast of the old watering can. Spritz it. And we'll add a bit of colour. Sponges, always good as well. Texture. Sponge. A sponge or a Brillo pad, cut up into bits. So you've got a spongy bit and a texture a little bit there. So those all add different textures to your paints as well. What should we have?
And you can use them instead of paintbrushes.
Yeah, that's the fun bit. And as I say, I'm just going to use an old bristle brush for this to just get it on quick. So, let's have a bit of burnt umber to start. So I tend to start with my dark colours first, and then I can add the lights on top. So let's get some blobs of burnt umber on. Stick and stay, please. Sorry, try not to get in the way. I'm just going to scrub over. Don't have to be too precise, because we're going to mix a lot of paint in this. Where else do we have some? On that.
What is this?
Burnt umber. But you can use whatever colour you want. You know, don't. You might want to tone the whole thing with one colour to start with. Take that white away. It's entirely up to you. Right, that's enough burnt umber, I think. Let's move on to. Let's have some blue. Now, I favourite blue is Prussian blue. I love it. Followed by ultramarine. Then go towards cobalt and lighter blues. Phthalo's lovely too. Phthalo's really beautiful blue. But I just love this sort of, there's a greenish element to Prussian blue.
Yeah.
And if you mix it with burnt sienna, you get lovely greens.
So what's the like turquoise, is it?
It's a very dark turquoise, like turquoise, but like taking down the greens. It's one of my favourite colours. In oil paints as well, I love it. So dark. Mix that with burnt sienna, you get a really deep black in oil. It's better than burnt umber and ultramarine blue for black. The other good combination is alizarin crimson and viridian. This is dark green, dark red.
Yeah.
So again you get nice black. Oops. What happened there? No, no. If you want to keep white areas, do, you know, this is your painting. You just do whatever you want, you know. You can keep the white, you can add bits and bobs, do whatever you feel like. You can't break any rules because there aren't any rules to break. Apart from maybe colour harmony, you know, if you want to follow a bit of colour harmony rules, then that's different, but, you know. There we go. So, and then sort of just think about mixing that into the burnt umber a bit. If you want to just spritz it again, just get it a bit looser, let it run down if you're doing it this way. Let the paints do what it wants. You could also do this in watercolour. You don't have to use acrylics, you can do it on paper. These texture pastes will work great with watercolour colours. If you put it on the paper and let it dry, you can even create similar effects with them on watercolour paper. So, you know, you don't have to be limited to acrylic just because it's an acrylic medium. Just means once it's dry, it's rock hard, it will resist water then. So yeah, we've got some nice bits there. Let's do the same up there with that blue bit. Let's get some of that running down. Okay. See, you don't have to do much work. Just a bit of water and it's doing it itself. And you see, you're out of control. That's the thing. You're loose. It's just doing it itself. You see. Yeah. If I want, I can get that brown to move as well now. There we go. That's it. So you lose the temptation to go, oh, it's not doing what I want. It's doing its own thing. It's like when you paint with watercolour and you just put washes and you let them do that thing where they just blend. You know? It's great fun.
You had to do the work.
Yeah, let the water do the work. And you could do this with oil colours if you're doing it with oil. You just have to use thinner, you know, to get it to move. Yeah, so I've got some nice effects there. I'm really happy with that. Put a different colour in, let's see. Nice. Found this one, vermilion red, which is a very common colour these days. Vermilion. I mean, real vermilion is very expensive and very kind of like, try getting hold of that oil paint. It costs you a fortune. It's nearly as expensive as ultramarine, as in lapis lazuli, which was the original ultramarine. Let's put this on, let's see what this does. There we go. Yeah. So you see, I'm not being precious at how I put paint on, just blobs. And then just mix it about a bit. Mix it into some of that blue. Oh, what a lovely colour we're getting there. Bit on there. Just nice and abstract, changes the direction of your marks. Just mix it in with some of the other paints that are there. If it's dry, it will paint over. If it's wet, it will just mix in. It's very Bob Ross, this, isn't it?
Happy little cloud.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little accident, yeah. Yeah.
There we go. And then let's just loosen that up a bit as well. Just at the top there. Like that. We've lost all that runniness that we had in there. And then what I would normally do is let that dry, and then I come back with another layer and put some gold and lighter colours on top of that dark colour. As I did with this one.
Yeah.
So this had buff titanium on the base, and there's Payne's grey, there's gold, there's copper, there's all sorts of colours in it. And sometimes they show through, and sometimes they don't. But
I like
just
the
do it.
effect, gold and bronze.
You can get some, put some silver on if you want to start really sparkle. So this is what I'll paint now in the second one.
Oh, right.
Because this one's ready. So that's as I want it.
Yeah.
So are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Yeah. So as I say, feel free to come up and